I touched on something earlier in the show, and I wanted to come back on it because I think it's a really important point. This idea about applying for a permit. This plays into their hands. And I understand the motivation. Well, there's going to be new people at the event, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable and they're safe. And all right, yeah, I get that. I understand what you're saying. But the more of you there are, the safer you are. I mean, there are certain principles that tend to apply when it comes to doing a gathering of activists in a public government-run place.
What's going on? Why are we here today? Do we have a permit for being here?
Don't need a permit.
Okay.
Now, there's never any guarantees. You know, I can't say for sure you're guaranteed to not have any trouble if you do this and this and this. But there are some things I think that are more likely than others. And one thing that I have observed in my years of doing activism is that when there are more of you than there are of them, you typically win.
Yeah, they just leave you alone.
Get out of my way.
I am out of your way.
Do you have any identification? Nope.
What's your badge number, if I might ask?
I'm not addressing you right now.
And that's what they did today, for the most part. They tried to boss us around, and they'll try this stuff. They know what worked.
If you're just one lone person out there with a sign, yeah, you can believe you're going to get in trouble.
Absolutely. They'll call the cops on you at that point. But if you're not alone and you are with a group of people, they might come up to you and say, could you please stand over here? Oh, no, we're fine right where we are. But if if you're not used to that, it'll throw you off. It'll throw you off your game, and I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I'll move over here. No, you don't have to. Not until the man with the gun comes along and tells you to move. And at that point, you don't have to either. But at that point, you might get arrested. So you can always push it to that point. But 800-259-9231 is the number. So my issue was these folks that actually went and got permits. That's like the worst of the worst that you can possibly. That's basically saying, all right, well, we'd really like to come and gather and do an event at your airport, and we're wondering if we're going to be able to do that. Would you allow us to? And if so, what would you like us to do? Where would you like us to? Well, we'd like you to be over here behind the dumpster if we're going to allow you to. They want to put you in a place where you won't be seen. They want to put you in a place where you be as the least effective as you possibly can be, and they are also going to just say no. And those are if they say yes. And when you go and you you kiss the ring or kiss the boot in this case.
Or lick the boot.
Yeah. Then sometimes that's what happens. They'll just tell you no. And if they tell you yes, they try to rope you off into some area where you'll be as ineffective as they can possibly make you. It starts from a position of weakness. It starts from the position of, well, we recognize that you own us and you can do whatever you want with us. We'd like to do this, but if you say no, we'll just stay home. It starts from a position of weakness, and if you want to be, successful in doing activism and getting in touch with people, you just got to go out and do it. Let the chips fall where they may. You don't have to get arrested. Play ignorant. Oh, your permit? Well, what are you talking about? Well, where's the law that says that? I mean, if you want to go on that point, you can try that approach. Or, well, in this Bill of Rights here, it says I've got the freedom to assemble and put it on camera. Are you saying that we don't have the freedom to assemble? Are you saying that we don't have the freedom of speech? Record these bureaucrats when they come up and approach you. But if you come to them first, and
that's like bureaucrat repellent.
Yeah, if you come to them first and say, okay, well, can we work together on this? Well, then that's when they're going to lay out all their rules that you get to follow. And if you don't follow their rules, they'll come up and say, well, we agreed on this, and you didn't follow this rule, and oh, I'm sorry. Well, you don't want to start from that position. Am I making sense here? Does that compute?
Absolutely. Because there's strings attached. When you go to them for permission for something you don't really need permission for, you're allowing them to set the terms of your event.
It's a big mistake. It's the biggest mistake you can make, in my opinion. And I understand the idea that, well, we don't want people to be scared to show up. If you think that your crowd of activists is that chicken-S, well, then go ahead and get the permit. But if you are tired of that crap, then I suggest stepping out of that paradigm and just starting to do things. Do first. Better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
Right.
Especially in this case.
Really, they're going to round you all up and arrest y'all? Really,
no.
That's what's going to happen?
Not if there are a dozen of you.
Come out and say and talk to you. That's the worst case scenario.
Worst case, you back down.
The suggestion that you actually have rights in this country, they're long past.
You have to exercise them.
Read the Bill of Rights. You'll figure out very quickly that you don't, in fact, have rights.
You can have some of them back by exercising them. Mm-hmm. But going and begging for a permit is...
Begging the same people that you're protesting
you're
for
not
the right to protest them.
Right.
Come on.
It's not a right. It's a privilege at that point. You've turned a right into a privilege. As soon as you ask permission, that is a privilege.
Yep.